So we will start off with some introductions. I'll just go with myself first. So my name's Danielle. I work with recruitment and retention here in the School of Education. And really what I love about my job is I get to work with students as they're coming into the program, but my door isn't closed to you once you are in a program. My door is still open to you once you're in the program, and you can kind of come in and we can get to continue our relationship, and I get to continue to connect you throughout the school, which is what I love the most about my job. We'll go with Dr. Poos because you're to my left.
Hi there, Dr. Brad Poos. I'm the Associate Director in the Institute for Urban Education at UMKC, and we're located in the School of Education. We're a scholarship program within the School of Ed, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. And Deishanae can speak to that too, because she's one of our students. So thank you.
My name is Deishanae Crittenden, like Dr. Brad just kind of introduced me. I am a senior here at UMKC in the elementary education program, and I'm also in the IUE as well, which, like he said, we will talk a little bit more about that a little later.
I'm Liz. I am a coordinator for financial aid here at UMKC. I deal with undergraduate students from last names A to G. I have been with the university for about a year now, over a year now, and I deal with state grants and just general, any type of questions that are pretty much needed.
And my name is Alyssa, and I am our Assistant Director of Scholarships in the Financial Aid Office. And I do all things scholarships, from outside scholarships to department scholarships. And the thing I love most is I get to be the fun one in the office that tells a student, good news, they're getting a scholarship.
Oh, that's got to be the best job.
It is nice.
I guess Dr. Poos gets to do that quite a bit too, don't you? So, Liz, if you could kind of just walk us through a little bit of what is the general financial aid process for any incoming student for UMKC.
Okay, so once a student's been admitted, we have everything on file. The first step any student needs to do is fill out their FAFSA if they are deciding to use any type of federal aid. Federal aid, it is between unsubsidized and subsidized loans, and if the student is eligible, it would be Pell Grant as well. Some students do decide to go that route, some don't. There are other routes that are available as well. It's just kind of up to what the student themselves and how they plan on paying for their education. For me, myself, I went through the federal route. And the biggest thing is filling out your FAFSA for the correct year. If you will be incoming for the fall semester, we would need your 21-22 FAFSA. That you fill out on studentaid.gov. There is a few other things that are needed on that, but they kind of walk you through everything. And obviously, once that has been filed, that gets to us electronically in about a week. It usually takes right about a week. We get it loaded in. At that time, we see if you're selected for verification or not, and if we need any supporting documentation. After that, if it is, we reach out to you, let you know what we do need. If you aren't selected for verification, as soon as everything is ready to go, we get you packaged for your aid. We let you know what you are eligible for. And at that time, you get to see your awards. You can accept, decline, or reduce any of those awards. And we kind of go from there.
And Liz, when do financial aid packages typically come out to students?
For the next school year, it usually is around February, if I remember correctly. It's usually later after the spring semester has started, and that's when we kind of really dig into getting ready for the next school year.
Perfect. And I think you mentioned this, but February 1st is our priority deadline for FTC or incoming students for the FAFSA, correct?
And I even like to tell students if the sooner the better, just because it becomes, if a student has the financial need, I tell them to file it when the FAFSA comes out on October 1st, because there are there is a grant that is a federal grant that is available, but the funds are gone usually the very first day because the federal need, it's a very limited, but it's it's there for the need. And also, if depending upon uh, if the need is there as well for the state of Missouri, if they are a Missouri resident, there are grants that are available as well, and they need the filing is by February 1st as well, but we like to have it the sooner the better.
It really is. Can it really be like a first come first serve basis with some of the federal and even Missouri grants?
The Missouri one is you just have to meet the filing deadline. The federal one, it is first come first serve, and it's based off of need.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move a little bit on to UMKC scholarships, or maybe just scholarships in general. Alyssa, if you would like to chat a little bit about scholarships and how that works.
Yeah, of course. We have mainly three different types of scholarships within the university. The first one being an automatic scholarship that's awarded to students based on their admission application. So that's ACT score and high school core GPA. If you meet those requirements and an apply to admissions deadline, you're automatically selected for several different awards. Those are for undergraduate students, and they're not available for medicine, pharmacy, or law. So kind of restricted based on your program, but those are the easiest as far as to get. If you have the qualifications, you're just automatically awarded an automatic scholarship. And then other scholarships are outside scholarships through an outside organization like your church or your place of employment. Those are granted to the student and they come through our office and we process them and then place them on the student's account. And the more complicated ones that we offer are department competitive scholarships. And we do have a competitive scholarship application that we encourage our students to go online and apply to. And these are not guaranteed, they're competitive. A lot of students apply, but we definitely encourage it. You fill out a general application, and then for most of them, you are automatically matched to different scholarships across the university. And then those scholarships have their own committees that they review after March, and then recipients are notified after then. And then there's some apply to scholarships on that scholarship portal that students are notified of after they complete the general scholarship application. The system sees what they filled out on their general app and says, hey, you might be interested in these too. If you are, you have to apply to them separately. After March is when most of the decisions are being made and throughout the summer. And all of those decisions across the university from departments are sent to our office. And then our office gets the fun job of adding them onto students' accounts and getting those applied. So it's a very fast overview of scholarships.
Yes, a very fast overview. So definitely ask more questions. I will kind of jump in a little bit here and just let you guys know. So for some of those competitive scholarships, the School of Education actually has 36 competitive scholarships that we offer across UMKC. Some of those open to first-time college students, or some of them are reserved specifically for returning students, so students that will be sophomores or above. And you can also apply through that internal portal that you'll have once you are an admitted student. But across, I think UMKC, we have over 100 or more scholarships just internally, so that's huge. And one big thing to mention is for our FTC or first-time college students, the application deadline for those is January 15th, so coming up quickly. But for our returning students, the application deadline, I believe, is March 1st, so we have a little bit more time if you're a returning student. Deshanae, do you have any experience applying for any scholarships within UMKC?
So, like what Liz was saying, like I definitely freshman year on up till now, I definitely October 1st, I filled out my FAFSA. Like I was on, I'm like, Mom, like I need you, like I have to do this. So what they were saying, please make sure that you do your FAFSA. Like that's so important. I was also I'm a first generation college student. So my scholarships are a little different than other people's because obviously like I'm more in, like I needed more support, financial support. So my scholarships were a little larger maybe than most, but that doesn't mean that there aren't scholarships that are still out there that are a lot of money that you can get, to help. But other than that, last year I think was my first time using the Common App. I don't know if that was the first year. Was that the first year that UMKC did Common App? I don't know, but I just know that my like the certification manager at the school of education, he was like, you really need to get on Common App. You need to just fill out just a general profile, and then they will like basically tell you what you can apply for or what you can't. Like it's just you don't even have to do anything. Just put your profile in and they already automatically just send you like emails of, oh, you look like you may be, like a good candidate for this scholarship, or you may be good for this one as well. So and I definitely did get two scholarships actually from that Common App. So like I said, it's real, it happens. Like I feel like sometimes people or high schoolers sometimes, because that's how I felt before I came to college, like using these different websites that like they never get like a answer. But I feel like with Common App, like it's legit, and I think that it's very important that you definitely fill that out.
So I will make a little bit of a distinction. So we have these 36 scholarships through the School of Education that are through our internal Common App for applications. And then we also have a specific scholarship program, which Deshane and Dr. Poos will talk a little bit more about. So I'll pass it over to Dr. Poos to talk a little bit about the Institute for Urban Education.
Yes, so the IUE, as we refer to it internally, the Institute for Urban Education. So we are a scholarship program within the School of Education. Deshane is one of our awesome students. And so basically the way this works, it is a competitive scholarship. And so there is a separate application process. You apply to UMKC, and then we have a separate application for the IUE that requires just some additional information. We also interview all of our students who apply to the IUE. And we are looking for students who are interested in teaching in Kansas City's urban schools. We partner with a number of schools that exist in what we might contextualize as urban. And for us, I mean, that means that they are linguistically, racially, culturally diverse, and historically marginalized, and or underfunded. And our goal is to strengthen our urban schools here in Kansas City through this process of finding and educating up and coming excellent urban teachers. And so our scholarships range from roughly from $5,000 to $15,000 per year. Those are for 4 years, renewable. So long as you meet the obligations of the scholarship, those renew automatically. And we offer some extras for our students. So all of our students, as Deshane can tell you, participate in the same courses that all of our School of Education students take. So the curriculum's the same. What we do is, for the scholarship, students commit to 4 years of teaching post-graduation in one of our partner schools, so in a Kansas City urban school. And along the way, throughout the being in the IUE, we have biweekly social justice seminars that really work on identity, anti-racism, teaching for social justice, anti-racist teaching, etc. So we really try to cultivate this, this experience of you're going to be entering a classroom, and we want you to be prepared. And so those are actually, we call them seminars. They're really they're kind of like non-graded coursework, but in a really it's in a seminar style. So students enter the program as members of a cohort. Deshane can probably speak to the fact that you get to know your cohort really well. And that's part of the beauty of a cohort style, is that you really develop meaningful relationships along the way. Our students get extra field experience. We do come together as cohorts, and during normal times, there are cohort dinners and events, community service, and then a really strong network of alumni and local teachers that we can connect students with along the way. So the I guess the nuts and bolts scholarship program for students who are interested in teaching in local urban schools. And Dish, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, or just talk a little bit about your experience. Maybe can touch on that a little bit.
Yes, definitely. So he took a lot of the words right out of my mouth, but he obviously can't take my experience. So I am definitely going to talk a little bit about my experience. So I've been in the IUE since my freshman year. So my senior year of high school, I knew that this is exactly what I wanted to do. But the thing is, I'm not even from Kansas City. I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri. So everybody always asks me like, why did you choose UMKC over UMSL? And then also, why did you, if you know that you're going into teaching, why didn't you decide to stay back home and then instead of going to Kansas City? And my thing is, at the end of the day, I knew I needed to get out of St. Louis. That was number one. Number two, I didn't think that there was anything wrong with me going into a different environment and then just because I can compare St. Louis public school districts to KCK and KC Mo public school districts. And if I decide to ever go back to St. Louis, I can take all these different practices that I've learned from UMKC and the IUE, and then just as well as my experience, and put that into my own community. But like I said, so senior year of high school, I did the application. Like he said, it's a competitive scholarship. I went through the interview. I really didn't think that I made it through. And I've been here ever since. I was 18 years old my freshman year in a classroom, in a first grade classroom. I was already teaching. 18 years old. Who can imagine that that could ever happen? Like you don't see that at other universities, like UMKC, and then specifically the IUE puts you in the classroom from day one. You know, you want to teach in an urban setting, you're gonna go out and do it. It doesn't matter what city you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You know. He was speaking also about like the cohorts inside of the school of education cohort. I literally have two or three of the people that's in my IUE's cohort on speed dial. Like I literally was just talking to one of them last week, like no joke. And she graduated last year. And it's just you're able to make long lasting friends. They are also like mentors because you look up to these people, you know. So yeah, other than that, like the dinners, the seminars, we were talking about, I would never forget gender neutral terms. And that is super relevant right now. I've never thought about, well, back when I was like 19, I guess, I never thought about like when I walk into a classroom of saying, hello guys, or how you guys doing? Like, no, it's not just males in the classroom. I learned so much that I feel like I, I don't know, the IUE pushes you to think about just very controversial issues and topics that's going on in a classroom, even with your second, third, fourth grade students. Like right now, I'm in a second grade classroom, and we have been talking about homelessness. Like they are so, oh my goodness, like we've done a whole project over that, and some of the questions that they have, it's just so amazing. Like I actually have some of them written down over here. Um, this is just really quick because now I'm kind of ranting. I love my kids. Like I love teaching so much, and they're just so smart. Like they're just, I feel like sometimes people feel like kids aren't able to like understand complex situations or topics. And I don't agree with that. I think that they can comprehend so much. Like we have to put these kids at a high standard because they know what is going on. So for example, one of my students said, how does it feel to be homeless? Is it good or is it bad? Like that's like, how do you come up with that question? And then another one is, what happens if homeless people refuse help? Because right now we've been talking about just, oh, I want to give blankets, I want to give them food, but what if they don't want that? Like these are like perfect questions that, like I said, I don't feel like I would have even wanted to even push my students to thinking about homelessness or anything like that. So at the end of the day, I really feel like the IUE has changed my life. It really has. It has definitely, like I said, pushed my thinking. It is definitely a financial help right there as well. But you also make long lasting friends as well as mentors. like for example, Dr. Waddell, she's one of the head people. Like I look up to her so much, and it's just so grateful that she's seeing something in me. You know, when I was 18 years old. So
Thanks, Deshaun.
Talking about those things, like, I don't know. It brings a smile to my face and it makes me excited to be doing my job. And I imagine it makes everybody else on this Zoom call excited to be doing their jobs and the ways that we get to participate in you becoming a teacher. Yeah. Deshane, I'm not done with you. I'm bringing it back to you. So I think we've kind of covered almost everything we had planned on covering. But Deshane, as this person who is closest going through this process, I'm going to ask everybody this question, but I want to start with you. So, like, what would be the most important thing when you think about financial aid, when you think about getting ready for college? What was most important? What do you wish you would have known, or what was super helpful for you during that process?
Well, definitely someone in my ear pushed me to file my FAFSA. Because like I said, if I'm not joking, like I don't know how I would have been able to pay for like the majority of my college experience. Of course, thanks to the IUE, they definitely helped me out too. But just like I'm just being honest, like making sure that I filed my FAFSA like ASAP. And I have younger brothers as well. I'm the oldest of five. My little brother, he's 19, and I told him from day one, like, Kobe, please make sure you file your FAFSA because yes, I'm a first generation college student, but you're technically not able to get as much financial support that you can get. So that is definitely something that I really hope that people take seriously.
I would just encourage students to not be afraid or nervous to come to the office. Um, right now, physically coming into the office may not be the best idea, but calling or emailing us, we're all very friendly. We encourage that. We want to help you. That's what we're here for. My experience as a student was scared of the financial aid office, not quite sure what questions to ask or who to talk to. And now that I'm on the other side, I don't want students to feel like that. It can be a scary subject, but we're here to help. That's our job. And so I just encourage students to do that and to not get discouraged with scholarship processes. If you apply and don't get selected for something one year, apply again. So keep applying.
To that as well, especially what Alyssa said. Like I was a first generation that went to college as well, and like my associates was paid for because I had a scholarship. But whenever my parents, they were like, okay, good luck. And they're like, okay, you got to figure it out. So, and with the college that I went to, I was in the financial aid office almost every day because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need somebody to help me. And that I know how that feels. So if you have questions, always feel free to email, call us, let us know because we've all been through this process. We know like this doesn't come naturally for a lot of people. I mean, I worked in financial aid. I was enough in that office, oddly enough, that they offered me a job as a work study. So that's where I got my start. And I love doing this job just because I have been a student myself going through that process. And I know especially for first time students, it can be very complicated and there's so many different steps, but that's what we're here for, is to help you through all of those steps. So if you have questions, always feel free to ask. Always apply for scholarships. Always. I mean, free money is free money. It's money you don't have to pay back. Take it from somebody who's paying back their student loans right now. It's better if you can get the free money now, because once you are paying that back and you realize, oh, I did take out that much. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah. But honestly, if you have questions, always, even if you think it's a silly question, reach out to us because it won't be the first time that we've heard it. I can guarantee it.
We know a lot of our students by name, and we really like that. And Liz made me think of another good point. If you do have to borrow loans, keep track of what you're borrowing year to year. It can be really easy to just click accept and ignore it. And then when you graduate and you have your loan servicer breathing down your neck and you realize how much you actually have to repay, is a huge wake-up call. And I'm saying that with experience. So borrow smartly and track what you're borrowing.
Yeah, and I'll just echo. I mean, I can echo what everyone has said. I think filing your FAFSA is really, really important first step, obviously. and believe in yourself. I think that a lot of times students don't apply for scholarships or don't pursue them because they don't believe that they should get them, and that's just not true. So believe in yourself, believe in your ability to go out and get these scholarships that are available, because you can do it. And I think a lot of times that's part of the barrier there, is just not believing that it's possible. So believe it.
I was just going to say, I really just agree with everything you guys are saying. As a first generation college student, I think just reaching out to the resources that are around you that UMKC offers, but even your local high school offers, like reach out to your high school counselor, reach out. You may not have a parent or a guardian or even somebody within your family that has done this before or has the right answers, but there is somebody out there that does have the right answers and wants to help you. All five of us would be some of those people. People behind us is even bigger and bigger that are willing to help you through this process. So, yeah, thank you guys for showing up and answering the questions tonight.